realizing that the brain is a generator with a conveyor belt that has nothing to do with you. Thoughts are not us. Thoughts are on the conveyor belt in our mind, but they are not the truth of who we really are. And that's the first basis you got to understand when it comes to changing the way that you think. Isn't it crazy how we have these brains and the brains generate all these thoughts and ideas and imaginations and visualizations, and we allow it to make us sad? We allow our brains to control us instead of us controlling our brains. Isn't that crazy? Well, in this video, anyways, we're going to tackle having those negative thoughts, having those negative self beliefs where you have been programmed by your outside environment and you have a perspective, a storyline going on in your head that is affecting the way you feel about yourself. We're going to get into that in this video. Best way to think about it, no pun intended, is our thoughts are on a conveyor belt. It's a generator, and the generator is pumping out the product. The product is our thoughts, the generator being our brain. And they're all on this conveyor belt going around and round, and new thoughts are coming, and new thoughts are coming, and new thoughts are coming, and new thoughts are coming. Then when that thought is on the conveyor belt for a long time, it starts to almost get glued down on the conveyor belt in the sense that it starts to become sticky, where the thought gets so stuck to the conveyor belt it turns into a belief. And what are thoughts, anyways? Thoughts are just these unseen forces that work in our own minds. And what happens with us when it becomes a negative thought on the conveyor belt, we hold on to it. We reach out and grab onto that thought. We're like, oh, I see a negative thought. I'm unworthy. We grab onto that on the conveyor belt and we take it off the conveyor belt, actually, and we hold on to it. And then now it's in our fist and we're holding on to this random negative thought. It may have just so happened where your mom was in your life at this time and she was making you feel unworthy. She was telling you you were unworthy. You are not good enough for my love. You need to change. You need to be different. So she forced your hand, in a sense, to reach for that negative thought on the conveyor belt. And now you're holding on to it. So now you're not living with your mom. You're not around mom anymore, but you're still holding on to the negative thought. You have taken ownership over the thought. You have identified with the thought instead of realizing that the brain is a generator with a conveyor belt that has nothing to do with you. Thoughts are not us. Thoughts are on the conveyor belt in our mind, but they are not the truth of who we really are. And that's the first basis you got to understand when it comes to changing the way that you think. They're on the conveyor belt, but the conveyor belt isn't me. I'm the one that's aware of the conveyor belt. I am separate than that. I am not my thoughts. I am the awareness behind my thoughts. That's the first thing you need to understand. You can go off that basis that our awareness, our consciousness is separate than the thoughts. We can begin the change. And the way that we begin to change those negative thoughts and not allow them to plague us anymore is by realizing that they are stories. Thoughts are stories. These beliefs are stories that we are attaching to, and they're not facts. Just because you think something does not mean it is objectively true. It is a fact. Just because you think you're unworthy of love, of romantic relationships, of friends, it doesn't mean it's true. You're putting too much belief into that thought that you're gripping right now. You're putting too much belief into it. Understand that it's a storyline. Everything in life really is a storyline. Rather us being a good human or a bad human, it's storylines we're attaching to. It's a program that we're under. So we can begin to be like, okay, I don't want to hold on to this storyline anymore. I want to pick up the storyline that I'm worthy. I want to pick this up. I want to believe that. And how do you do that? You can't just, a lot of people, what they do is they just try to pick up a positive thought with the negative thought. And it doesn't work a lot of the time because your hand is already tightly gripped to the negative thought. So it's hard for you to just, oh, let me try to scoop this up and put this also in my hand. Now you have the negative belief and you're trying to add a positive belief, but they contradict. What we first have to do is weaken the power of the negative thought that's in our hand. We have to slowly open up our hand to release that negative thought and weaken it to the point where we can grab the positive thought. What do I mean by that? So, okay, going back to I'm unworthy. We first have to question, why do I feel unworthy? Where is this coming from? Is it coming from mom? Is this coming from dad? Is this coming from friends? Was I bullied at school? Or am I scrolling social media and I'm seeing someone with abs and I'm seeing someone with a nice purse, a nice outfit, cars, more money than me, the success that I want? What is causing me to feel unworthy? Where is this coming from? Is it just coming from the world and everybody I meet? Where is it coming from? Acknowledge that, question that. And then once you understand these are a couple reasons of things that it may be coming from, you got to question, is it true? How do I know I'm unworthy? What evidence do I have? Just because someone told me, why do I believe them? Why do I believe that they know me better than I know me? And then, like, this questioning process may feel tedious, but it's weakening the negative thought because you're deciding to kind of have a conversation with it. And you do this through journaling. So if you journal, I'm unworthy, and you start to go through these questions, you start to just ask it, like, where is this coming from? And is this true? And then you start to put doubt in your own head. And when you put doubt into your head, the negative belief gets weakened because now it has a doubt there, and doubt causes you to slowly open your hand to the negative belief. One of the questions that you may ask is, why am I unworthy when other people are? I view other people as worthy, so why do I feel unworthy? If they're worthy, why can't I be worthy? Would changing make me worthy? Who decides that I'm worthy? Who decides that? What's the objective definition of being a worthy human? Worthy of love. What do I need to do for that? Oh, okay. But someone else that's doing this thing I perceive to be worthy of love, that got cheated on too. So this person got a nice body, this person has surgery, this person has money, but they got cheated on or they got mistreated. So are they unworthy? Oh, no, they are worthy. So, okay, I don't need to get anything to make myself worthy. You see, like this back and forth process that I'm going through in my mind? This is what you have to do through journaling. Once we've gained awareness of the negative thought, and once we understand where it possibly is coming from, we cut off the systems of where it's coming from. So maybe you need to take a social media break, or maybe you need to get away from the person that's reinforcing that negative thought to be strong in your hand. Get away from that. And then, now that we have weakened the grip, we have some doubt, like maybe I am worthy actually. Maybe me being unworthy is not true. Once you weaken the grip and you're like, that actually may not be true, then that's when you grab the positive thoughts. So, how do you grab positive thoughts? You have to generate the positive thoughts because on your conveyor belt, all you've had is negative thoughts. So now you got to generate positive thoughts on the conveyor belt. You do that through affirmations and actions. So you affirm. You don't even necessarily have to say the opposite, that oh, I am worthy. You could say other things. You could say I'm really smart. I'm really beautiful. I'm really good at tennis. I'm really good at basketball. I'm a really good talker. I have a lot of friends. I'm really good in school. I have a great job. You start to say all these affirmations, these new positive thoughts, these new positive thoughts, these new positive thoughts. You start to add in the new storyline. Well, I'm an amazing person and amazing things happen to amazing people. Therefore, I can have amazing relationships. Therefore, I am worthy. I'm worthy because of this, because I get all A's in my classes, or I have this business that I'm doing, or I have this job. I'm worthy just because. I'm worthy because I'm a human. I matter because I matter. You start going on a rampage of positive thoughts and you start to introduce that. But that's not the only part of the equation. Your brain is going to be, it's like almost addicted to the negative thoughts on the conveyor belt. So, what you also have to do is take actions. Because when you take actions, your brain is like, oh, maybe they are worthy. Like, maybe I am worthy. You have to take actions like getting in the shower and really like massaging yourself, taking care of yourself, exfoliating, washing your hair, making sure everything is groomed and nice. You have to say no when people are trying to push on your boundaries. When someone is pushing against your boundary, like you don't want to drink or something, you say no. Or I don't want to sleep with you. You say no. I don't want to go out today. You say no. You start taking these actions day by day in your life, you're teaching yourself that you are worthy. So you're reinforcing the belief. Your brain can't hold, oh, she's not unworthy or he's not unworthy, because you are doing the actions of a worthy person. You are keeping respect in your life. You're saying no to people. You're taking care of your body. You're massaging yourself. You're meditating. You're going to the gym. You're exercising. Your brain can't hold that storyline anymore because the storyline has no basis now. You can't say you're an unworthy person because of all these reasons, because now you have new thoughts that are reinforcing, no, I am worthy. I am smart. I'm beautiful, this, that, and that, and the third. And then you have actions to back it up. I'm worthy because I'm an amazing driver. I'm worthy because I got this nice car. I'm worthy because I have a loving father. I'm worthy because I have a loving sister. You come up with these reasons and you have these positive thoughts. So it's the new thoughts, the new affirmations, and then it's the actions that you take. That's how you reinforce positive thinking. And even then, the work may not be done. You may have a new negative circumstance happen that may make you want to run back to the negative belief that you had on the conveyor belt, the negative thoughts you had on the conveyor belt. So, what do I mean by that? This is the process. So, you may be introducing the new storyline of being positive, but then you're dating somebody and they break up with you and they cheat on you. Your brain is going to generate negative thoughts on the conveyor belt again. And you got the positive ones that you already got on there, but then the new negative thoughts are going to come back on the conveyor belt. And then you have to look at the conveyor belt and say, no, 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 no. I'm not accepting that storyline. I'm not accepting I'm more unworthy again just because someone broke up with me. Let me hold on to the positive thoughts. Let me hold on to these positive thoughts. No, let me hold on to these positive thoughts. Hold on to the storyline that you already have, reinforce it as much as possible. I do love myself. I am worthy. I bathe and I brush my teeth and I exercise and I take care of myself and I say no to people and I drink my water and I say affirmations to myself in the mirror. I really do love myself and I'm worthy. I'm worthy because I'm worthy to me. I mean a lot to me. I have a lot of value. That's what you have to go back into when you have those triggering moments, like a breakup or like someone bullying you. You have to go back to the program, the positive programming, and don't allow the negative thoughts on the conveyor belt to become strong again. You have to allow them to stay weak and allow the positive thoughts to stay strong. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all those amazing, beautiful things. If you watch this video to the very end, let me know that you did by leaving a brain emoji in the comments or leaving a light bulb emoji in the comments, because we're talking about the brain and thoughts in this video. Once again, my name is Tabari. I will definitely see you guys in my next video. See you later.